and Savvy. We're talking about Sri Lanka rugby, and we've had a lot of conversation about where it's been and where it's going, but getting back to our conversation about running it like a business. How does one run a sports union like a business? And in this context, because we, like you mentioned, Manchester United, and you've got other countries who've really capitalized on it and who've been doing an excellent job of it, but how do we do it, and how do we bridge that gap?
Well, this is that million-dollar question, and you know, you have to start somewhere. When you call something a business, you just all of a sudden can't go out and get sponsorship because you're calling it a business. You have to decide exactly what your proposition is. You have to create a brand. You have to expose the brand. You have to create passion, loyalty with your client base, whom are our supporters. Once you've done these and you're connecting and you're communicating with your market, then you have a business. Now, when you talk about rugby, you know, this is no different. We have a product, it's the SRRFU, and it's the logo. We have a product. The product is a super product. But what we have to do, what I have to do, is to generate people that want to be associated with our game. We have to expose our brand. We have to give them reason why they would invest in us, because we have to return their investment. And if you think about it, when I first came into this country, I said, look, you've got an amazing school structure. You've got 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people at games, often 20,000. But can someone please show me which part of the office actually has the list of the hundreds of thousands of our customers who are our supporters? Can someone show me where they are? No, of course, there isn't any. So that is the absolute, that's got to be the golden key. We need to know who our supporters are. And when we know who our supporters are, then we can start dropping in messages. We've seen it time and time again in our day and age with mobiles, SMSs. You know, this is the way of commerce, and I firmly believe that we are on the right footing. Like I said to you before, you know, we've got a site now that people can visit and see what we're doing, and I hope that that will be the beginning to a long, sustainable future for the country with regard to rugby.
So when I start getting messages and emails about when the next matches are being played, I know you've done your
absolutely
job.
And I would hope they're automated as well at that point, so we haven't got either myself or Sheriff. You know, we've got 100,000 people, Sheriff, and we might grade, you know, Division 1, Division 2. So no, listen, we jest, but when you register to be a Tusker, let me tell you, you will get an email and you will get a text, and occasionally from the chief executive.
Couple more questions about running it like a business. Obviously you're going to have to look at your brand again and kind of reposition yourself. So along with that, what is really changing? The brand, like you said, is excellent. The product is excellent. The brand is already established. But what will change?
Okay, well,
what can we visibly see?
Sure, we don't have to change. You know, we talk about brand. Yeah, it's a brand. It's 100 years plus. You know, the brand is as it is. What we got to do is communicate that brand to the outside world. You know, when you think of Asia and the Western world, you don't think of Sri Lanka. In fact, you don't even think Sri Lanka play rugby. That's a fact. That's what it is now. You think of Japan and Hong Kong. Well, that's completely untrue, because Sri Lanka, one of the best in Asia. So we talk about a business, but nobody knows about us. So it's like having a shop in the back streets of a dark alley, selling the best product, but nobody knows you're there. So it's about communicating the brand and the product, and interacting in this social media world that we now live in. That's the beginning of building a business.
Which also means, I guess, the players themselves will also eventually turn into brands themselves, maybe
100%.
eventually. How will, I'll ask Sheriff this question too, but how do you think that they'll be able to cope with that change too?
I don't, you know, I don't want to sound arrogant, but to an extent, you know, when I came through the ranks, I came through playing rugby because I loved it and everything else, to all of a sudden signing autographs everywhere from a rugby, you know, you became a natural. But you know, in rugby terms, the best players in the world are the real arrogant ones. The people that can stand with their shoulders high and can talk on shows and can speak to people, that's arrogance and it's confidence. And these guys are naturally confident because what they do on the field is out of this world. So there's no question in my mind our players can absolutely, I mean, look, the cricketers, the Sri Lankan cricketers is an example of how well they've sort of adapted to professionalism, and there's no question these guys are of the same background and the same pedigree.
Sheriff, are you up to the challenge? It seems like a big change. Are you up to that challenge?
Yeah, obviously.
Says yes, obviously. I like his attitude. He's man of few words, but
Absolutely.
clearly
He's got
his game right.
He's got a plan. Let me tell you, he's got a plan, and he's not giving it away at the moment.
You've given a lot of the plan away already as to how you're going to reposition or how the brand's going to grow. But we spoke briefly about goals. But in the next 10 years, where would we like to be?
Okay, next 10 years, without a question, we will have a seat at the top table. And notice why I said we will, not that we can. We will have a seat at the top table. And a seat at the top table, for nobody that knows, is in the Rugby World Cup that happens every 4 years. And when you talk about rugby, it is a global sport. And you know, you think about Sri Lanka and what a fantastic destination. By being a successful rugby team within the IRB, which is the globally governing body, you know, Sri Lanka positions itself on a map that, you know, can attract the tourism, can attract lots and lots of visits and interest, because Sri Lanka is a destination.
It's all interlinked.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we talk about sponsors. Well, you know, if you happen to be a brand that's looking to develop a reach and a community in another territory, well, rugby is absolutely a vehicle to do that.
Okay.
So it's interlinked, and Sri Lanka has everything going for it. We just have to pull in the right direction.
Any kind of change you're seeing in schools rugby? I know it might be too soon for you to be able to address this question, but are there changes being made on a schools level at the moment already to kind of see the larger vision?
Well, I've met quite recently at the school, Sri Lanka Schools Association, and their secretary, and it was interesting because I think, you know, they've done amazingly well to bring schools to the stage that they're at, with the competition and the leagues and the quality. They invest a lot of money, and they got you know, outside coaches, and they do a lot of good. And I get the feeling that, you know, they're really looking to the SLRFU to take them now to the next level. You know, we're talking about being professional, but it's not just about being professional on the field. These guys will only perform if the administration is absolutely professional off the field. And the schools, I think now, in association with what we're doing, I think they can use us as much as we can use them to take the schools to yet another level. And then you're talking, you know, you're talking a serious platform then.
All right. We'll talk a bit about coaching and infrastructure, which is obviously a huge part of all these changes that you want to make.
Yes.
And of course how the players have also adapted to all of that and those changes in just a bit. But as always, we're going back to a little bit of music. What are we hearing now?
Here we're gonna sing Teenage Dream by Katy Perry.
All right.